Hello friends, welcome back to another session of Core Java tutorials. Today we'll see Java input and output. So any program that we write cannot accomplish their goal without accessing external data. So the data can be received from an input sources and the results of the programs are sent to an output destination. So these are some of the input sources. The first one is the keyboard. Okay, keyboard is through keyboard the program receives some text entry, and also the program can receive its information from a disk file, and also can the input come from a network connection. The program can receive input also from another program or from memory buffer. The destination or the output sinks are console. Consoles are nothing but the display devices. Then the display also can be sent to some disk file, or it can be to a network connection or to another program or to a memory buffer. So as you can see that all the input, getting data from the input sources is called as reading. Okay, so read operation, and giving the output to some console or some disk file etc. is called as a write operation. So you have got this read and write operation both onto the files and also to the keyboard and to the console. There are three streams that Java automatically creates for us. The first one is the input stream. Okay, so the second one is the output stream, and the third is the ERR stream. So we'll take a look into what these streams are all about. All the sources and destinations that we have seen so far are handled by streams. What is meant by a stream? A stream is nothing but a sequence of data. So you can understand a stream to be sequence of bytes. Okay, so stream is considered to be sequence of bytes. Or you can also have a definition like this, like the stream is a logical entity that either consumes or produces information. So that is also called as a stream. I just gave you a simple definition, which is sequence of bytes. Okay, so all the devices that we have talked about, the source or the destination, everything is handled by streams. Okay, and stream, why it is called as a stream? Because it represents the flow of water, like which is very continuous. So that's why it is named as stream, which is sequence of bytes. And there are three streams that are automatically created for us, and which are nothing but in, out and ERR streams. So we'll see all these three are the static variables that are there in the system class. So we'll see what is a system class. System is a class that holds static methods and static variables, and this extends object class. Okay, system class extends object class, and we already know that object class is the parent of all the classes that we create in Java, and system class is in java.lang package. Okay, so this is the most widely used package, and we already know that java.lang package is automatically included into all Java programs, because this is it contains classes and interfaces which are fundamental to virtually all Java programming. So that's the reason java.lang package is automatically included into every Java program. Okay, so the three fields in the system class. So here remember friends that the system, for system, this first letter S is capital letter. Okay, so in system class there are three fields. The first field is public static final input stream in, and the second field is public static final print stream out, and the third variable is ERR, which is public static final print stream ERR. Now what is meant by in? In is nothing but the standard input stream. Okay, so in is nothing but the standard input stream. So this standard input stream is already open, and it is waiting for giving you the information. So this stream is already open for you, and typically this standard input is nothing but your keyboard, okay, through which you can get input into your program, okay, or any other input source that the user host environment or the user specifies. This standard output will be waiting, is already open, and it will be waiting to accept the output. This is typically the display monitors that we have. or any other devices that the host environment or the user specifies. Okay, so generally basically this will be the display devices, generally your monitor or the console. Okay, so the next one is the print stream ERR. ERR is the standard error display. Okay, so this is the standard error display, and this standard error display is already open and it will be waiting to display the error messages and or some exception information on the display devices. Okay, so that's the reason why this is a standard error display. Okay, so this error display will be waiting to display the error messages or exception messages onto the display devices. Whenever there is certain information that need users attention immediately, then an error message is displayed on the display devices for you, and that is the purpose of this particular variable, which is ERR. Okay, so let us take a look into what is this input stream, what is this print stream, and what is this print stream over here. So all these are the classes. Okay, so input stream, print stream are the classes. So let us take a look into print stream now. Both the print stream class and input stream class are there in the java.io package, and the print stream class provides all the output capabilities and it is used from the system file handle. So we'll be using this class from the system class, okay, through the system class, and this is the most used class in the Java programming. And print stream class supports three methods. The first one is the print method, second one is println method, and the third one is printf method. And this printf method is there in Java from JDK 5. Okay, so this printf method is similar to the C programming printf method with the same kind of formatting. Let us see these three methods in a program. So we'll see how to send data to the output destination, which is the console or the display devices, okay, which is your monitor. So you have seen in my programs in my previous lectures that I have been using system.out.println or print or printf. Okay, so we'll see what is the syntax of this. Okay, right. The syntax is this, which is system.out.print. Okay, so system is the class name and out is the static variable of the system class. Since this is a static variable of the system class, you can access it only through the class. Okay, so that's the reason why we are saying system.out. Okay, so because out is the static variable of the system class, you have to access it through the class. Okay, so that's the reason why we are saying system.out, and remember friends, this S is capital letter. And then coming to these methods, okay, so these methods of print and println and printf are the methods of the print stream class. Okay, so since out is of type of print stream, you can access the methods of the print stream class. So that's what we are doing over here. Okay friends, let us take a look at this particular program. There is a class A. Inside the class A, there is one static string variable, which is Java programming. Okay, so there is another class and we are trying to find out the length of this particular variable, which is CName. Okay, to do that, what we have done, since this is a static variable, we can access only through the class name. So we said A dot. That's the reason why we said A dot, then the name of the variable, and then we are calling the method of the string class. So we are calling the method of the string class, which is length. So this length method will find out the length of this particular CName variable and it will print the count as integers on the screen for us. Okay, so this particular thing that we have written here is very much similar to system.out.println. Okay, since out is the variable of the system class, the static variable of the system class, so we are accessing it as system.out, and println is the method of the print stream class, and we have taken that. Okay, so fine. Now I'll show you what is the functionalities of print, println and printf. So in this particular case, I said just print and then I have passed a string into it as argument. So what will happen is on the output screen it will print welcome, and then the cursor will wait after the text. Okay, so the cursor will wait after the text to print the next message. Okay, so that's what is called as print. Now what happened? The cursor is waiting here after the text. So again we said system.out.println. Now we said system.out.println friends. but the cursor is here. What it will do is it will print friends over here after this, and now the cursor will go to the next line. That's that, because we have said ln. If we didn't specify ln, the cursor will be after these friends. But since we said ln, what will happen is the cursor will come to the next line. So that's the difference between print and println. Print will keep the text in the same line. Okay, so the cursor will be waiting after the text. But println will take the cursor to the next line. After printing the text, the cursor will go to the next line. That's the difference between print and println. Another difference between print and println is that you cannot have a system.out.print. Okay, so without arguments like this. Okay, so there is no print method without arguments. So this cannot work. So you will get an error if you are trying to do it. But there is an println method without no args. So you can simply say like this in your program. This is correct. Okay, so this is legal, and this will take the cursor, print nothing, and take the cursor to the next line and keep it for you. Okay, so this is another difference between print and println. Now coming to the printf method. So the printf method is very much similar to your C programming. Those who are familiar with C programming can identify this printf method, and here it works like the same how it works in C programming, and the syntax is also like this. Okay, C programming syntax, and this is added from JDK5. And what will be the output? So the output will be, this is the integer conversion specification, and it is %d, and I am trying to print the value of x. So the output will be 100. So what will be the output of this particular program? The output of this particular program will be welcome, and after this only I'll get friends. Okay, and after that in the next line I'll get the length. Okay, so the length, it counts the length. Okay, so the length I'll get some 16 or whatever, and then x will be printed on the screen. So since there is ln over here, the output will be printed on the next line, and simply 100 will be printed on the output screen. Okay, so this is how you have to use system.out.println inside your program. Okay, how to use ERR. To use ERR, you can simply say system.err.print or println. Okay, so inside this we will be writing some statements that you want the user to know immediately. But since if we are using simple Java console, then both will be displayed on the display devices itself. Okay, else you can write it into the file or something like that. And if you are using Eclipse IDE, then ERR messages will be displayed in red color, and normal print statements, okay, will be displayed in black color. So that one difference you can find in IDEs.